The federal government has assured Nigerians that the threats issued to Igbos by a coalition of northern youth groups are not new and that security agencies are in control. The Minister of Information and Culture, Lai Mohammed, has been speaking about this, saying that the threats issued by the group did not form a basis for discussion. The governors of the southeast have assured Igbos of their safety, though, as the governor of Kaduna State, Nasir El-Rufai, and the leader of the Northern Governors Forum, Kashim Shettima, condemned the group and their statements. Data feeds are coming through in one place simultaneously on all our social media platforms, channelstv.com and on youtube.com/channelsweb. We're right now live on Facebook as well. Tweet at Gimba Umar CTV and use the hashtag State of the Nation to air your thoughts on the subject. Days after the National Judicial Council, the NJC recalled some suspended judges. The Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, has filed 14 charges against one of them. The charges were filed less than 48 hours after the presidency vowed to prosecute all the judges that were reinstated by the NJC. In the charges, the EFCC accused the Federal High Court Judge Ngwanjiwa, of receiving over $260,000 through his bank accounts between 2013 and 2015. The commission also accused the judge of receiving 8.6 million naira from unknown sources within the same period. Do the funds correspond to the judge's legal wages? Where does the pendulum swing between the government and the NJC? How does this affect the government's war on corruption? The Army General Court-Martialed in Borno State has sentenced a soldier to death for killing a suspected Boko Haram terrorist. Lance Corporal Hilary Joel was said to have carried out the murder during the cordon search operation by the army in Damboa local government area of Borno State. He reportedly set the suspect ablaze, killing him in the process. 4 other soldiers were convicted for human rights related offences ranging from assault, aiding and abetting murder, and also unlawful possession of ammunition. Private Chima Daniel was sentenced to 15 years imprisonment for his role in the torture and application of pepper on a 13-year-old minor who later died in a bid to make them, the victims, confess to stealing the phone. His accomplice, Corporal Audu Aliu, was deranked to a private. How much more dehumanizing acts will go this way in the army? It's prime time in Lagos, and this is State of the Nation. Welcome everyone in Nigeria and the rest of the world. I am Gimba Umar and this is State of the Nation. Right behind me will be data feeds coming through real time on all our social media platforms. Be part of the show, tweet at Gimba Umar CTV and use the hashtag State of the Nation to air your thoughts on the subject. Well, the federal government on April 26th presented a formal request to the National Assembly to approve a loan of $5.8 billion from the China Exim Bank to modernize rail lines in some parts of the country, even as some senators raised eyebrows over the non-inclusion of the Southeast and South-South in the plan to modernize the railway lines. The areas listed for the modernization include the Lagos-Kano Railway, the Kano-Kaduna, Lagos-Ibadan and Lagos-Calabar rail segments. Consequently, the Minister of Transport, Right Honorable Chibuike Amechi, was invited by the state, that would be by the Senate, to explain reasons for the exclusion of the eastern part of the country in the proposed China Exim Bank loan for rail development in the country. Well, we're going to have him join us in just a moment, but before we go that way, let's quickly get the thoughts of another different issue completely when we hear that the federal government has actually paid over 300 million naira to beneficiaries of the whistleblowing policy. Hannibal Owaifo, he's the president, Africa Bar Association. He joins me now via Skype. I want to thank you so much indeed for coming at this time. You've seen this whistleblowing policy. In your view, is this properly structured to protect every whistleblower?
Well, thank you so much, Jim. I'm happy to be with you today on Friday. We just returned back from Burundi, where we went to submit the African Bar report on the crisis on Burundi to the government of Burundi. And some of these issues were also part of the issues that were raised. I will not go into what was said in Burundi, but about our country, Nigeria, which I'm very proud of, I'm a citizen of. I believe that everyone had heard when the government said they were going to be paying money to whistleblowers, and a lot of people were insisting that that money should be paid. So for us in the African Bar, okay, listening to the citizens, the government paying whatever they are saying, but the problem we have is not about paying. 5% to whistleblowers is a far cry from the 100% that they steal and they mess up the country with. You budget 100 million to tie a road and they pay only 2 million. That's almost 90%. So I'm not blaming the whistleblower, but we should not allow the thing to turn into the same corrupt way. So there must be a framework. The Senate, the National Assembly must create a discernible avenue for paying these things, so that whatever money is paid, whatever is due is due. Because with this now, we are going to start having fake. I suspect that we may start having fake whistleblowers, and fake payers will start paying.
Okay, that's interesting. So what then happens now that this policy is in full swing? Is it properly constituted, or should we have a process that we constituted in the constitution of the federal government?
Correct, Mr. Jimba. That's what I'm saying. We do not want this thing to turn to the petroleum sector. We do not want it to turn to FEMA. We do not want it to turn to all the kinds of avenues in which Nigerians have been so ripped off. The citizens need to know. The Minister of Information, those involved, the Attorney General Federation, and all those who are involved in this thing should put together a policy that is very simple to understand. You tell the truth, you get this. And it's very simple. God forgives everybody if you are truthful. God forgives you if you are straightforward. But we do not want a situation where this thing will now become another avenue of oil imports, of petroleum imports, and all that. We need to be straightforward. We need the Senate, the National Assembly, to put forward a policy. They should agree with the president. They are in the same government. The APC government is running the country. The National Assembly.
Many thanks indeed. Hannibal Uwaifo, permit me to just butt in there. I want to thank you so much indeed. Hannibal Uwaifo, he's the President, Africa Bar Association, for talking to us.